Welcome everyone to the reunion of Minecraft Survivor Age of Valor. We have almost a packed house here tonight, except for three people, all from different tribes. So it's kind of fitting. But I just want to say thank you everyone for showing up, and let's just get this started. So first off, gotta start with the winner. Congratulations, Simon. How do you feel about winning Age of Valor?
Good.
Did you
Oh
just cut in
my
the
god.
like one
He
single
really
word?
this is the energy we're gonna start
Okay,
off with.
okay. Why don't we talk
Bro
about this? Let me
thinks
talk
he's
about this.
Ion Koji, bro.
A guy.
Bro, I am Ian Koji. Did you see me? Okay, anyway. It feels good, winning the season. Definitely proud of myself for that, as well as just like, I enjoyed my time here. Definitely. Hold on, trying to find the right words. I enjoyed my time. It was a blast at times. It had its ups, it had its downs, but I'm chilling with that 100% win rate. It was my first time, and I took it home, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to have been here, met you all, played. It was it was pretty fun, honestly. I did heavily enjoy myself. It was definitely a close match. I thought Sam had me, not gonna lie, but the cards fell on the table, and not gonna lie, you put up a damn good fight, man. So, and my headphones unplugged.
All right, cool. While his headphones
Oh wait, no, we're
unplugged.
good. We're good.
Oh,
Okay, we're good. We're good.
we're
Never
good.
mind. All right. Yeah, but thanks for hosting the season. I definitely had a fun time, and I'm happy I won. Of course. I think my win. Watching it back, I think it's very satisfying to watch, and I think it represents the season quite well. So, yeah. Love that. Love you guys. You guys are cool. Love the audience. If you root for me, I love you. Mwah.
Next to him, Sam came up one vote short, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But how are you feeling about your game overall?
I'm actually pretty happy. I remember thinking after FTC that I thought I might have been able to pull it out with my speech. I was really proud of my performance at Final Tribal, and I thought there was a chance. But I also thought if I don't win, like I get it, because I felt like I shouldn't have won. I didn't know that my game was fully there. I was happy with the way I played, but I did really have to kind of sit back for most of Merge, so I knew that it wasn't a very flashy game and that it might have been the most entertaining thing to watch. So I was like okay with losing. Obviously, I would have preferred to, and I really actually did think I had it. I remember Simon and I had some sort of conversation afterwards where we were predicting what we thought might have happened. He told me I thought I had him 5-2 to 1 or whatever the numbers. I sound like I do in the season. I can't ever do the numbers. You know me. But yeah, so I was feeling good after that, and I kind of spent the whole time thinking that I was gonna seal the deal. But alas, in the end, I didn't. But Simon played a great game and deserves it. So yeah, I'm happy with how I played. I'll take a nice 1 vote away win.
And last but not least, from the final three, Andy got a respectable one vote at the end of the game. So Andy, how did you feel about your game overall?
Well, most of the game, what I just done in the taped thing was just my brain fart. So, hey, let's say it the incorrect way. Like it was a brain fart, to be honest. Half of the season I was drunk. Seriously, like, and I had like no idea what I was doing. And when I was watching it, all the things just getting the memory back, it was the feeling like this. And I was like, holy shit, did I said that? So I'm not okay what I said, but with the game, yeah, I think this is the best placement what I can get ever in my life.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure you had a very roller coaster type of feeling when you're playing this game, which we'll talk about probably later. So next
Oh
up,
god, no.
Joker. I mean, your
Yeah.
game speaks for itself. Went to every single tribal council besides the first one. So how did you feel with your game overall?
I think that I did pretty good for myself. I'm pretty happy with it. I really felt like I usually don't play from the bottom, and this season I pretty much never got a taste of the top. I think that like I had to overcome a lot of challenges, and I think that overall I'm just happy with my immunity wins, I'm happy with my idle plays, I'm happy with my edit. I just think that I'm happy with the game that I played. And even in the way that I went out, which was A, entertaining, and B, entertaining. So thank you.
All right, Boston. Congratulations on making it to fifth. I know you would have wanted to go further. So my question to you, honestly, this is a personal question. Um, Going into Zohar, why did you pick? I mean, I know you explained it a bit during the filming, but go into like more detail of why did you pick Sam, which we'll get into with like the whole duo thing. But why did you pick Sam as your alliance compared to the others on your tribe?
We had a great cast of 5 there. I think him and we just hit it off very very well very quickly. I mistaked him for one of Mason's friends, but he ended up not being him. But it didn't matter. Him and I think we think very similarly, and we just had great conversations, and we kind of knew right away that we wanted to work together, and I just didn't expect us to work so well together. And I'm super happy I met this guy. We cooked up, we had a great time, and yeah, I mean, I could not have asked for a better ally.
All right, Nerf. Coming into this game, I feel like people noticed this whole arc with you of like, oh, I hate this tribe. Oh, I hate my tribe. And then you went to like, oh, okay, these guys are, they're okay. So how did you feel about your game and this arc that you had this season?
I hate my tribe now. I hate all of them. Every single one of them. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Anyways, my game. I think when people look at this season and my story, that is the main focus. The biggest 2 moments of the season both revolved around me. Final 10, Final 6. Me getting out at 6, me causing that whole thing at 10. And that kind of lit the fire in my soul. And I want more of that. I want more of that in the future. And that's all I focus on. My future. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And I'm sure we're going to
Drop the mic.
drop the mic. I'm sure we're going to dive into some of those vote offs soon. Next, Corlin, how did you feel about getting onto the season? Because I know you were kind of like struggling, I think, a bit when it came to like applying for seasons. So how did you feel when you got that notification saying you're on the cast? Like, what was your mindset?
Okay, so I mean, when I got the invite, I mean, my mindset was pretty much what I said in the premiere, because at the time it was the first recorded I had applied to in one of the first recordeds I'd applied to in 7 years. Because, like I said, the first recorded I'd applied to was Kawhi Vinny's Minecraft Survivor Season 7. Actually, geez, it was probably even longer than that. It was probably an even bigger gap than that. But the point is, like, it's important that I just took that opportunity and ran with it. Now, I will admit that, I could talk about, like, the various ways that, if I had to do this again, I would have done things differently. But honestly, I'm really glad I did this. Just the fact that I wasn't afraid to, take a step forward and give it a shot. As it turns out, I really did have nothing to lose. And yeah, I mean, it's a very simple answer when you get down to it, but I knew that I had nothing to lose and everything to gain from taking this opportunity, and I'm glad I did.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Next, skipping
And
the three.
I just want to make it clear, like, what I said in the premiere and my confessionals, like, that goes out to all of you. Like, if you guys really are interested in doing this and you're on the fence about applying, just give it a shot. You don't know. I mean, you don't know until you try.
Well said. Well said.
$100 for that.
$100. All right. Play. You came into this season as the funny guy. So did you plan that out, or did that just come as you presenting as yourself in this game?
That I guess kind of both. I came into this, I was planning on just being a full-on personality hire, right? Because like this was easily the most serious Minecraft Survivor I've ever played, because before that it was like, let's just say very not serious, okay? And so I had no idea what I was getting into. I got invited pretty much at the last second by one of my friends to apply, and I did it on a whim. So I pretty much just came into this. I wanted to troll around a bit, and that's exactly what I did. That's just how it really was just my personality for the most part. I was just playing it up to 11 sometimes.
Next
Great
up, Blaine, you were a big presence when it came to your tribe, and unfortunately, your journey was cut very short due to a twist in the game, which we'll get into probably. We'll see. So my question for
right.
you, my question for you is, how do you think the game would have gone differently if, say, V was the target if in that vote off and you made merge?
It's hard, honestly, to say how it would have went down differently because I do think that whenever we came to merge, considering in the edit at least, I was able to at least kind of like figure out that Boss and them were lying about obviously the whole entire thing, and I was able to catch on to them lying. I would have probably, if anything, worked with the middle tribe most likely. So I don't think instead of a number for them, it would have been a number for the middle tribe most likely. Because looking at like this season, I like them in general. I like the middle tribe. I think they were a bunch of personalities, and personally, I'd have been attracted to that as a player. So I think it would have been severely different because V was obviously a number for the older tribe most of the time, and I would have been a number for the middle tribe. So I think it could have went. I don't know how much longer the longer game would have went down, but I think that me and obviously Joker could have been numbers. I could have been targeted possibly for being Joker's number one, and I could have still been like V where they target me for it. But I think it could have been a little bit different considering the fact that I would have been working with the middle tribe more than the older tribe. I think at least, but we don't know fully.
We don't know. All right, next up, Cassius. Your game was also cut short. You were also one of the prominent figures in your tribe when it came to the season. So, do you think you could have done things differently to survive, or do you think you're kind of just screwed?
Man, I was screwed. Joker had his little alliance. I was screwed. Like from when I watched it back, I was like, yeah, there's no way Joker takes me with him. That's not the smart move in his position. And then even if he did take me, I'm gonna be honest, like I don't really talk a lot, so I'd probably just be a nobody and get probably be like a mid-merge target, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty happy with actually where I ended up, because I feel like I had a lot of potential. I gave off to a lot of people as if I could have done a lot, but I feel like even if I did survive that boat, I would have gotten out like right after that.
Next up, Shiny. Okay, I gotta talk about this with you with the sickness. Obviously I didn't show too much because you were just gone during the recording. So could you please explain to the audience what happened with, or just how you were feeling when you were sick?
I did not feel good. Like I was feeling lightheaded and my stomach was just turning. I didn't eat anything that morning. That might have caused it. Basically right after the first challenge, I like started feeling sick, so I didn't know if it was going to be like just a little thing or a long thing, so I didn't tell my tribe I was leaving, so I just kind of just like stopped talking. And then like I think it was like 30 minutes later I came back and I was like, I'm not feeling well. And then so it wasn't shown in the episode, but I decided to sit out so I could give myself more time to heal. And I think I was gone for like an hour in total. And that's like an entire hour that the rest of the 4 people in my tribe got to bond, and I wasn't even there. So when I came back, like in my mind, I knew I was cooked. So I decided to try to go for V just to kind of, like try to make it not an obvious boot, but like I knew I was cooked. It's very unfortunate, but I now play game shows with ginger ale, ginger root, and Tums sitting right next to me just in case. Need to ward off the sickness.
Yep, fair enough.
That sickness sounds pretty leaky, man.
Yeah, not like Ligma. Not like Ligma
no.
from Nerf, this guy.
Yeah, poor man.
And last but not least, Seth, first boot of the
That's me.
season. That is true. Do you feel like if you didn't find that turtle helmet, thank you, Jeffels. If you didn't find that turtle helmet, do you think your game could have gone differently?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I mean,
I definitely wasn't at 100% at the start. I probably didn't talk enough. There were a lot of factors that can honestly play into it, but this was probably the one that I think was the most. I didn't really know how to Minecraft message at the start of the game because this was actually the first time I'd ever played any sort of Minecraft game show on PC. So I had no clue what I was doing, genuinely. But I gave it my best shot, and yeah. So, but I mean, sometimes it just kind of happens. You find something in a cage with Arabic on it, and people are like, "Oh, this guy stinks. He's untrustworthy. You can't throw him anywhere." So it happens. So, I wasn't traded for the world, but I mean, hey, I think if we win that first challenge, if we weren't dog shit in that, I think I could go a little bit further, but you never know. There are a lot of what ifs.
True. You never know with that stupid, goddamn 3-2-1 challenge. I will never do
Shut the
ever
fuck
again.
up. Aw.
Yeah,
Good. Y'all just haters.
Yeah, also Simon, if he actually knew how to use a fishing rod too. But that's okay. It's okay.
Hey, bro.
Me personally, I wouldn't take that disrespect from the first boot. It's just me personally.
Booking the winner as the first boot is insane.
That's crazy,
I will.
dog. Love you, son.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I love you, Simon. That's my boy.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's get right into the meat and bones of this whole season. I'm going to ask a question that I'm sure has been asked a bunch of times to me in the fan questions. So I'm going to just dive into the Joker question. And he knows. He turned his head around. The Final Four move. Explain. That's all I have to say for that question.
Explain. No, I don't get anything else. I just gotta
That's it.
I can talk through where I was.
There's more detailed questions about that Final Four move, but just explain your reasoning for it.
Okay, so here's my thought process on the Final Four. I know that I absolutely sweep the floor with Andi and FTC. I have no doubts about that in my mind. And I know that Simon is voting me absolutely no matter what. I talked to Sam, and when I talk to Sam, I'm getting a lot of talks about, hey, actually, we can do something else at this round. We can vote out Andi. He might send me to fire making. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's not how I thought this was going to go. I kind of thought I was just going to get 3-1'd. And so that plan sounds good. And I'm not going to lie, I was extremely tired. Of trying to avoid fire making has literally nothing to do with it. I don't know why I said that on my way out. That's just not true. I know that I would have won fire making, but I thought that my chances in FTC against Simon, a person that I duped into becoming my tell on when to play my idol, and who I knew was already voting for me and I still wouldn't go home, and Andi, someone who I knew I could beat in the end, I thought that I had really good odds of that. Now, the problem about sitting next to Sam and Simon, and I did talk about this with Sam, and I still hold true, at least from our perspective in the game at that moment, I hold true to what we said. I think that it's a very split vote. Looking back on the game, do I think I would have won a little bit more unanimously and it wouldn't have been as close? Maybe. But I think that having 4 of the old tribe members on the jury and me knowing that Andrew is never going to vote for me, also me not knowing that Nerf wasn't going to vote for Simon, it becomes really dicey for me because I didn't have many allies coming into the merge, so I had to entirely rely on bonds that I didn't get to make to go as deep. If I was to say a person that I got a bond with that would absolutely, I think vote for me if they were on the jury, it would be Simon, except Simon won immunity, so I can't get his jury vote. And I was kind of having to run through my head the statistics of, I think I absolutely wiped the floor with Simon and Andi, but with Sam, I know I can't get Boston. I know I can't get Andrew. It's just a lot. There was a lot going on, and at least I went down swinging, unlike some people around here.
All right. Oh, shots fired. Shit. All right. I'll ask another question about Final Four to Sam. Sam, what was your reaction when Joker didn't go to fire but actually got voted off instead?
Pissed me off, but because I thought he saw the vision. But I also, hearing what he's saying now, I totally get it. And people have to remember, they have seen the whole season. They can see develop their perspectives. They see what everyone's doing. Joker and I didn't. Like, we just saw what we saw. And for me, I agreed. I thought I had it all written down on a piece of paper. I was like, if I was in the final 3 with Joker and Simon, I think that there's a world in which I can pull enough. Like with the fact that there's 4 grays on the jury. Honestly, I thought I could do it, and I wanted it to work so bad. And when I saw Sam vote, it was like Joker, Sam, Andy. I was like 100% I'm going home. I thought that my name was gonna be the second one of that because I was like I got tricked. So then when I just was so confused and disappointed because I went into that, and you can see it in my confessionals. I went into that tribal council certain that I was sending Joker to fire. I was prepared. I was excited, and just to see that all just go away, my one like big move to end the game not coming to fruition, I felt like I had kind of the rug pulled out from under my feet because I honestly think that move still you can ask probably anyone on this show right now, and they would all say that it would have been a dumb move except for Joker. But I still stand by it. I hope people see the vision. There was a play there. There was a play there, and I think there was a chance because you can't know because you didn't hear the speeches. So if that final 3 had existed, the speeches would have looked different, and maybe there's a chance. But I really did think that was my only way to win. And look, I didn't win with the final 3. I did go 2, so maybe that was my good move. So I don't know. I just would have liked to see Joker there at the end too. He would have been. I would have been happy to lose to him anyway.
Can I?
I also. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Andy.
I'm sorry. If fire making would be happening at Final 4, I was prepared to step out, to not do the fire making because I suck at it. To be honest, I was like sucking eggs in all those Minecraft challenges. So I was prepared that if there will be the fire making between me and Joker, I will just peacefully leave to not do the fire making because I was so fucking tired. Don't forget, I'm 6 hours in front of you, and no, I don't know the future.
It's
So
true.
you're saying that you would have just given up without doing the challenge?
Yes.
Oh, this is not good for me. Actually, I mean, it's great for old man, but not good for present man.
Although then you don't get the thing of being like, yeah, and I won fire. You literally just walked to the end.
No, I mean, I get the thing of the person who I'm going against fire with literally gave me the win. That's pretty good.
I guess.
I don't know. I will also say that I think that a very underrated thing in this is Andy did a very good job of convincing me that we had no beef between us and that there was like bygones were bygones. We were going to sit in the final 3 together. And so when Andy told me he would vote for Sam, I thought that my vote decided who went instead of his vote deciding who went, which I gotta say, good move from Andy. I couldn't tell that he was lying. I was tired. The only problem was that I became very adverse to giving him my jury vote because lying to me after literally everyone had the entire game, I can literally like turn around and the only people who didn't were like Cassius and Blaine. I think everyone else did at some point. And
well,
so
they didn't
I
have
just
enough opportunity to. They were not in the game for it. Like, you know what I mean?
That's your fault. I don't know. It's,
and I don't even think I did either because like the only time I voted for you the one time, and it was literally everyone was. There was like nothing, and I don't think I ever told you I wasn't at that vote. I feel like I don't even think I talked to you that vote.
I don't know. I feel like.
But
I don't remember exactly if you.
I tried to work with you the whole freaking game. I
agree.
I feel like not talking to him kind of adds to it, though.
I don't know, Sam. I absolutely agree. We did. I feel like we tried to work together very well. I think the person that you should blame for us not working together is sitting in 5th place right now. So you should probably talk to him on that.
Yeah, you like that, Joker. Yeah, you like that.
I don't know. I like it when at the final 10 you almost got your #1 ally voted out because you didn't vote with him.
Oh, we'll talk about that tribal soon. We'll talk about that tribal. Don't worry. We'll be there. We'll be there soon. We'll be there soon. So I gotta transition to another. Well, we'll get to Sam and Boston after this. But I want to get to another duo that I didn't really show too much, but they were a duo, which was Simon and Andy. But first, before we get into that, Simon, coming into this game, were you like fully prepared to just backstab your own tribe and your own alliance coming into it, or was that just a thing that where you're like, oh, I have to do this in this, like like mid-season did you think of that type of plan?
You know, when it came to the beginning of the game, I planned to stay very loyal to everybody, and that's, just something that didn't really fall into place because I kind of saw the path in front of me had a lot to do with backstabbing people. And I'm not ashamed of what I did. Do I feel bad about it? Yes. Do I believe it was the right move? I mean, clearly. But it was just like I didn't. It kind of prompted itself. I feel because otherwise, I was trying to open up my horizons. The first person I talked to in Merge was Corlin, and then I tried to talk to V. V didn't respond. I talked to Joker eventually. I had that half idol with Ondi, so I could work with him. I attempted to work with everyone else. I believe I believe I did give everyone in this game a chance to work with me. Andrew and I were tight. So I think overall it kind of came to a point where perception had a lot to do with my game and how people perceived me. If people saw me as completely clingy to Nerf and Tora, which was absolutely true at the beginning, then I don't think anybody would respect that. So I try to give everyone a chance, and that requires sometimes throwing old allies under the bus. And I don't regret it, but does it feel bad? Yeah.
All right. Now coming to the duo here with you and Ondi. So either one of you can answer this, but how do you feel like the game would have went if Ondi didn't throw the half idol into the fire? I know the reasoning as to why, but let's just say you do survive that tribal with the half idol Ondi. What do you guys think your games would look like now?
I think I will be in next to final, next to tribals out, and I think we will never make the immunity happen. I'm sorry.
Honestly.
I'm sorry, Simon. I think that you had me with that idol, but that was not your plan to make it happen.
I know. And I'll absolutely give you credit for that move because, not gonna lie, I think you throwing the idol into the fire was actually the best possible thing that could have happened. Because of the fact that everyone was talking about you and me. Everyone knew about my full idol. Everyone knew about our two half idols. So as a result, everyone saw us as a duo. And for example, the final 7 move, like if we still had that half together, no one would have tried to convince you because you knew, or they knew that we were together. And I think you throwing the idol into the fire was absolutely your move, and you should own that because it was honestly, people may call it stupid, but I think it was absolutely genius. And I think overall it helped us sit right here. So
it was a heated decision, to be honest, but
and it worked
did it by
out.
myself.
Yeah, no, you absolutely did. I didn't tell you to throw it in the fire at all. That was all you. I was like mad for like 5 seconds. I was like, oh my god. And then I just decided, wait, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm mad at Ondi, but we still have each other's backs, which is the most important thing, more important than a half idol that everyone could target us over. So overall, I think that was absolutely the best move for both of our games, and I think the credit of that move absolutely goes to Ondi. It may have been a split-second decision, but
or maybe the time happened in the first place. Just
True.
saying.
I'm sorry, what you said? What you said back there?
I caused the tie. Let's just remember that.
You did. You
managed it, thank God.
You did manage it, absolutely. I'm not trying to take that away from you at all because that was your move, and I think you should pat yourself on the back for that one. And it caused a lot of chaos, and I think that was really cool. But yeah, no, absolutely. The idol going into the fire, good move for the both of us, and I think that's why we're sitting up here right now, honestly.
And I saw it that this thing is also in casting video, and I was like, "Oh fuck me, please,
Wait,
no,
is?
really? It is! It is!
That's awesome.
It is in the season 5 application video, but now
oh my gosh, that's actually amazing.
Now to transition into the other duo, a little bit of glaze here, but I my personal opinion, I could be wrong with other people's opinions and what they do, it doesn't matter, but this is my opinion. You guys were probably, if not the best duo of the series. Who knows in later seasons? But as of right now, you two definitely are because you kept it secret. And spoilers for 48 kind of reminded me of Camilla and Kyle. Just Can't say that other part
We
yet.
did it. We did it first.
True. Unless they filmed the season before, then who knows? But
But
you guys were
We
an
watched the
inseparable duo. Had some bumps here and there, but like still came back together either way. So my question to you, a little bit juicy here, is what do you guys think would happen if you two are at the end of like in the final three? Because unfortunately you guys couldn't make it there, but let's just hypothetically, what would happen?
I mean, I said it at the end in the finale. I said, like, when we were at FTC, I said, this is a great final three. The only thing that should have happened differently was that Boston should have been there with me. And I stand by that. I know that it maybe reduces my chances of winning to have him there. Not because I think he played a better game than me, but because I think we split votes because we played a very similar game. And then whoever that third person is might, scrounge up a couple. But I think it would have been hell of an interesting final travel to have us both there. I don't think I would have said anything negative about him, honestly. I don't know if he feels the same way. I've seen Saints versus Sinners. He probably would have. But I think I would have
I would
been...
have ripped him to shreds.
Nah, wait, really?
No.
That wait really was crazy.
Go ahead, Boston. You got an answer?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that would have been just the cherry on top for our story if we would have made it. You know, obviously the gods decided not to, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, it definitely would have been interesting to see the both of us in the final three, because we did work. I mean, we were on the same. We voted. I mean, not voted, but we were at the same tribals for the whole game. So a lot of our moves are going to be similar. We're gonna end up fighting for credit on a lot, and I don't know. It would have been interesting, but who knows? Maybe
I wouldn't have been able to lie about the idol thing, though, for getting him to play as idol. I mean, that's not in the actual edit, but at Final Tribal, I claimed that it was my move to try to get him to waste his idol so he could get voted out at 5. Hell no. I wanted my man there till the end. And so then I tried to use this. So if he was sitting there next to me, I would not have been able to claim that as a move. So I guess
to be fair, like 10 minutes later, you did say, like, dude, I wish you were here with me. So I was like, But fair enough.
Good job calling it out.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to move on. I'll get to Nerf, but I want to get to Blaine because I just thought of a question. And if I don't get to Blaine now, I'm totally going to forget the question. Which was, I didn't include this in the edit, but I want you to explain when you got out in your final words, you're like, oh, I got some words for Boston at reunion. So this is your opportunity, if you want to just lay it out on Boston for your vote.
Okay, I'll give my answer. Okay, I said this already before, but whenever I got out, and I wish it was in the edit because I think it was really funny, and I kind of regretted it afterwards, and then I didn't. And it's me. I got so mad at Boston and kind of Andrew that I made fun of Boston afterwards. I got out, and I was like, dude, what? No, like, I'm with you. Like, dude, no, like, trust me. Like, no, don't thank me. And I was like just making fun of him because I was pissed off, which now I'm fine with. But it was more that I was more mad at them, and now I'm kind of fine with it. I was just more necessarily just pissed off in the moment because I felt like my elimination was it was fair, but I think it was kind of bullshit due to the fact that, like, I didn't have no reason necessarily to go home. It's not like I was a target because I was a threat or this or that. It was just, oh, Blaine's there. And I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, I was pissed off because I'm a competitor. I want to play. If I get out, I want to have a good reason. My reason just felt like I was more just part of the Saray curse, which I didn't want. And I'm fine with Boston now, but in the heat of the moment, I was plotting on your downfall, doing voodoo, doing everything I could to make sure you lost the game. So when I heard you lost, I slept peacefully that night.
This is true.
You know, it's super unfortunate because I don't think Blaine ever should have went there. Obviously, the twist was very poor timing, and had that not happened, I think, he definitely would have made the merge. And I mean, Blaine, the reason we ended up going for you, I mean, because you're a great player, you're a threat. We had to take you out. I mean, I know, like, you got voted out and all, but, like, we were afraid of you at the end of the day. And plus, if I had not seen Joker activate as idol, we 100% would have taken out Joker. So it was just very unfortunate timing and circumstances with who was part of that tribe, and also the rhetoric that the Zohar were never going to turn on each other. So
it was very
bullshit.
Anyways, yeah,
Thank God for
super-
public
it's
idols and
super,
balls of
super-
steel.
Yeah, great whole.
LMAO.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Blaine. I deserved all your rant.
I'm fine now. I was just very in the heat of the moment, and I was just pissed off.
All good, man.
Sorry, Nerve. But I got one more question about that tribal, which is to the Joker. You were constantly DM'd by almost the entire. I don't know about Andy. I don't remember, but like you were basically DM'd by all of Zohar to play your idol. So
This is correct.
why didn't you? I feel like we didn't get too much detail into that during the
So,
season. So like, why
I
didn't
don't think that a lot of, I'll better say, I watched back that talk time. Not a lot of the conversations that I had were included,
you? Yeah.
which was fine editing, but probably makes the idol hold feel a little weird. Two conversations I had that I think were very, very important. And part of this conversation was left in, but it's a conversation with me and Boston. And Boston tells me 100% we're locked in. And I said, you're going to vote against your tribe. And Boston says 100% we're locked in. We're going on Andy. It is what it is. I said, even if no one else does it, you'll still do it? He says, yes. I'm like, okay, I know it ties. The one that didn't get left in like at all is a one-on-one conversation between me and Andrew. And Andrew's talking to me about how much he's willing to go through. This is why I had a problem with Andrew more than Boston, is because Andrew gave me 100% confirmation. He told me he'd go to rocks for me. He said that he would absolutely be doing this. He'd be voting for Andy. There would be no problems, even if people's names started life, even if my name came out of the woodworks and it ended up being me, that I would have nothing to worry about. And I was like, okay. And so at Tribal Council, I start getting messaged. I get Sam messaging me, Sam literally tells me to my face that he will not vote with me. Same with Corlin. They both message me, okay, it is you. You gotta be worried about this. And then Boston's like, dude, you gotta play something. I mean, like the bullshit that spits out of Boston whenever he wants you to do what he wants. He's like, you gotta play something. And then I get messaged by Andrew, the same thing. I message Andrew. I'm like, are you still willing to go to rocks? And this is probably what the biggest mistake and the biggest reason why I was like, nah, just not gonna play it, was because Andrew was like, yeah, of course I'll still go to rocks for you. Okay, then why do I play my idol? Why do I waste my idol if you're going to go to rocks for me? I'm safe in rocks. I don't go to the rock draw. So, like, there's zero reason for me to play my idol. And if you're lying to me and you're voting out one of the other two, then I go down an ally, but I have an idol in my pocket for the marriage. Like, there's just no reason for me to play it at that point. So they actually sold to me that they were on my side so well that they, like, ruined their own plan. Yeah, and also, it's why I was so unbelievably pissed afterwards.
I hated watching that episode. Because, like, well, you guys...
You were pissed because you didn't gaslight me well enough.
No, because I gaslighted you so good. I gaslighted you so good that you didn't play it.
But Boston, you made him... Yeah, you gaslighted him into the not the plan that we had. Like, it was literally the whole point of that plan. Get Joker to flush his idol. He'll still be in the game, but he'll play his idol. And then you guys were backing him up like, yo, we're so with you. Watching that back pissed me off because I was like, I felt like I executed that plan perfectly, and I did. Like, I told him he was done for, and I told him I was gonna vote for him. There wasn't enough. I wouldn't switch. And then I see you and Andrew going and fluffing him up. Like, it pissed me off.
Yeah, I think
It's all
y'all
mind
overdid it
games.
just a bit.
It's all mind
If it makes you feel any better, Sam.
Work though.
If it makes you feel any better, Sam, following that, we actually became allies, and me and Boston did not really. So there is that.
I just love I love the Boston hitting Joker with, "Oh, dude, my cousin Mason loves you." That shit was so funny to me.
Yeah, he tried it on me too.
That shit pissed me off. He was like, "Oh my god, I've heard about you. My cousin Mason, he's talked about you." I'm like, "Oh, I love Mason. This shit's about to be tight as fuck." And then he's like, "I voted for you." And then he messages me. He's like, "Good hold. I'll talk to you at the merge." And I'm like, "What the?"
Cool.
Yeah, if you go into this game not trying everything at your disposal, you're not playing the game right. You know, if Mason is gonna have friends and connections, you know, hey, that's my cousin. Let's have a connection too. I got your back. You gotta do what you gotta do.
All right.
You know what? Hey, listen, I respect it, but I think it made for good episode television.
That's true.
But it still pissed me off.
It's true. All right. Now we're gonna get to Nerf. We're gonna talk about obviously the vote that everyone knows. But first,
Yeah.
before that, how do you think your game would have went if you didn't get idled out at Final Six?
You know, obviously I've been egotistical this entire time, but I think realistically I lose at 4. That's just how it goes for me. I can't win challenges, but I would give my absolute best. Sam thinks over here that I'd win the game, but I really don't. I think Simon wins 4 and snipes me at 4. Either way, whatever was gonna happen, Simon was gonna fuck me over. That's the core of it, pretty much.
Yeah,
See, he's
I
laughing.
was totally planning to take you to 4. I was planning to get Joker out at 6, get Boston out at 5, and then get you out at 4. I wanted you there at 4, but Joker and you flipped around in my plan, flipped around in my mind.
Yeah, but if he was still there, I think that things happen differently. Because then, like, it doesn't mean you just get to decide that he goes at 4. Like, I'm also there still, possibly.
Yeah, no,
It
you're
seems
also
like it.
there.
So I'm
feel
sticking
like
to Nerf at that point.
with Nerf, the thing about that is one thing I was kind of thinking after the season, because I wasn't expecting you to vote with Joker at 4, because who would? But I was thinking that, like, maybe with Nerf it would be a little bit more obvious. I don't think I would have caught on, to be fair. But, that's just not how the game went. I was honestly thinking of giving my necklace to Andy and being sent to fire myself.
Meow.
But that would have been fun. That would have been really fun if that worked out.
Imagine I
Yeah,
give
I-
you in fire, and then you get the stupid question in 4th place seed.
Hey, it was ballsy, though. You got to
It
respect
just
it.
gets 3-1.
What I think about is, in the case of say Mr. Simon plays his idol on Nerf, it's very unlikely that because he didn't do it. But if he did, that would mean it would go between Andy and Sam and a revote, and I don't know who the fuck goes there. Genuinely, I've got no clue.
That's why I didn't play it on Nerf.
It was so fun. That moment was so funny to me. when when Joker plays his idol, and then Nerf just goes, Simon. I'm like,
You do what you need to do. You do what you need to do. I have no shame.
Nah, bro,
He
fair
fucked me
enough.
again.
Bro, trust,
He fucked
bro.
me
You're
again.
good, you're good.
Third
Nah,
time. he took
dog's
me out.
tugging at my emotions. That's
that
what you
moment
do,
was
man. It's
so
just like-
funny
it's
to
like
me,
you do it.
bro.
Doesn't even take me to
Get on
dinner.
Tinder, please. I'm begging.
I'm so glad I
Simon,
voted for
please.
Nerf instead of Boston.
No, absolutely. I mean, I would have voted for
Uh,
Nerf in the revote, realistically, but
Yeah, I know how
still,
it's
like
going.
he could have pulled something. So
No
I'm
shot.
glad you did.
Okay. My next question is obviously we're gonna talk about the Rock Tribal. So I remember day of, because during day of, a little bit of backstory for the audience here. I had a migraine, not as bad as Andrew's, because obviously I didn't leave, but like I didn't know what was happening in the game, so I didn't know that Nerf was making this entire plan. I was just like sitting on my laptop just recording, and like my mind was gone. And so when I went into Tribal, I instantly just get like several DMs from Nerf talking about his like plan, like stuff like that. And I was like, what is happening? And then I see the vote count. I was like, what? Which is completely shocked me. So Nerf, I know. Honestly, did you expect it to tie, or did you expect that Sam would have just
It's better
gone
to be
there?
a 3-way tie walking into that.
Oh,
I
that's what
thought
it was,
Corlin
that's what it
gonna
was,
vote
yeah.
For a fee. Yeah, so the whole plan was to make sure Corlin voted for fee. It'd be 6 people in the revote, and hopefully Andrew flips. Me, Andrew, Simon, and Tora, we all just take out Sam right then and there. It didn't happen what I wanted, but the whole point of that plan was to cause chaos. It was to get everyone to start hating each other pretty much and open the game up entirely, because in my position, I didn't really have anything. I was diagnosed with Ligma that entire route. So like I needed something to get people against each other. And that was the best way to do it. It caused arguments. It caused Andy to get rid of his idol. It caused Andrew to stop trusting Sam in Boston. It worked out perfectly, basically.
And yet Tora still went next instead of like.
I know, right? Because of a dumbass fucking play. Sorry.
That was a genius play. I will
It was
defend
not
that.
I don't know,
fucking
man.
genius play.
It's got a
It
big
was
break.
bad for
It
you,
worked
but it was
out.
good for me.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, we could get to that vote.
Yes.
Shout out to Ligma. Now Electro has it in real life. Congratulations. Big up him.
Yeah.
He's listening in here. Yeah. So, my next question is just to Corlin and down. So not Corlin and up. I mean to Simon. Everyone's reaction to that tribal. I just want to hear your blatant reactions to like the tied vote, the tribal altogether itself. So anyone could go here. So what was your guys' just initial reaction to that tribal?
Do we just want to go down the line?
Honestly,
like,
yeah, we can go down the
Corlin
line. We'll start with
Simon?
Corlin because he hasn't talked in a bit. So, Corlin, what was your initial reaction to that
well,
tribal?
Honestly, I think my reactions in the episode, well, actually, no, my reaction in the next episode just about summed it up because I was completely unaware of all this. I thought this, I mean, I was following along with Andrew's plan at the time, despite trying to think of ways to get him out because I thought we were just trying to get idols off the board. So that's why I voted for Simon, because I thought that, that would be a fine thing to go for. And it was also one reason why, like, when Joker was polling everyone for, like, information, I decided to lie. I'll also touch on this because I chose to lie and tell Joker that I voted for him because, I didn't want to admit that I voted for Simon, especially since I wasn't confident that he'd have a lot of votes on him. And, what happened from there, and so I figured, well, surely at least one person voted for Joker, and I was right. I don't know if the truth of that, or it being revealed ever, or of him finding out. I don't think he ever found out, but I don't know if that affected anything. But yeah, that was about my perspective. I remembered my voting confessional for the revote, and my first confessional after that tribal council was pretty much they were pretty much one and the same. So I genuinely was not expecting a tribal council with 5 different people getting votes leading straight into a rock draw to occur. Not in the slightest. And it's especially funny the way it turned out because not only did the old tribe who had the majority of the votes on them slip by once again, but the one person who actually voted with them, who was actually drawing rocks, drew the odd rock out, which a viewer did point out, which is crazy to me.
Game knew who was the most boring.
I mean,
V disrespected.
No, you know what?
Shout out
V might have their moment. V might have their moment later. I don't know, to be honest, but we'll see if they respond.
Exactly.
We'll see. We'll see.
Alone.
He might have decided the whole game.
They did decide the whole game.
They did.
Possibly, maybe. I don't know. I'll
Everyone
confirm.
Shame me for telling the truth.
They got their lick back.
All right, Nerf. Obviously, you're the reason why
You know
the
my
tide
reaction.
happened. So, like, what? Yeah, explain what your reaction was during that tribal.
So walking into that, I was just crunching numbers pretty much in my head. The one person that I wasn't confident about was the one person that fucked up my plan, which was Corlin over here. I kind of thought that whole debacle would get Corlin to flip alongside Andrew. That was the goal. That was the push. And
Sorry,
I did
man.
not...
I was never voting for Sam.
Yeah, I didn't do enough. But you know what? I know why I didn't do enough. Is because I wanted him out eventually, which happened. But either way, it was fun. And that's all that matters. It was fun.
It's true. Definitely was, for sure.
For some of us.
It was.
For some of us.
It was.
All right. Boston, what is your initial reaction? And honestly, do you want to explain your mindset into voting Simon? I think you were the one that voted Simon, right? If
I voted Joker.
you voted
No,
Joker.
I voted Simon.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, so why did you vote Joker? I don't remember if it was explained or not, to be honest. And what was your initial reaction for that tribal?
Well, my initial reaction, I was pretty annoyed. I do remember, I think Nerf told me about, like, the Sam plan, and I mean, it was very brief, but I was like, bro, just don't do it. Don't do it. Please stick to the vote split plan. So when him and his followers actually voted for Sam, I was like, damn it, I was annoyed. But, yeah, the reason I voted for Joker, I wanted to stick with the plan we were establishing. I needed Joker. I failed that flush idol pre-merge, so I did everything I could to try to get it out this round. And gladly it did work. He didn't need it, though. But, yeah, no, I
voted
stressed
Rocks.
when the 3 votes for Sam
That
came.
is true.
And I was still confident that I think we could get, who did it tie on? Oh, Sam and...
Andy.
Andi. Oh, I was still confident that we could get Andi out there. Me and Andrew were still working together, so I was like, yeah, we'll still probably have this car away. So, that didn't work out. I was like, all right, well, shit, we're gonna win the rock draw, and then the rock draw didn't work out. I'm like, God damn it, bro, this game really hates us, man. But it was a fun tribal. I had a great time, and yeah, it made for a more interesting season for sure with the result.
True that. True that. All right, next
Set the
up,
tone.
Joker.
No
I
shit.
mean, your reaction was kind of shown immediately right after the rock draw, but like, what was your
The
initial
final
reaction?
10 round is like the 9/11 to my mental health.
Oh
That shit was.
Holy shit.
Dude, you have to understand because that round is so different from my perspective. I just come off of like the all of the stuff at the final 12, and then the final 11 I win immunity, and it's all good and happy from there. And I'm thinking I'm getting better with these people, and then it's like, yeah, there's a split vote plan against you. What? Yeah, so
Bro, forgot
you
about
also got 38.
32.
You also got 38. You got 38
38,
votes
yeah.
during the round before. Oh yeah, really? And then we get into tribal, and I'm like, okay. In my perspective, this was obviously shown in the episode. I have 2 idols. Nobody knows about the second one. And so I'm just gonna play this idol and act like it got flushed or whatever. I'm gonna try to get some information out of it. I don't know if people are gonna lie to me or not, but I'm gonna try to get information out of it. And then I stand up, I try to get a couple information. Andrew says that I have like horrible gameplay, and I have to say from what happened in the actual season proper, no one listened to him the entire time. So horrible gameplay is interesting coming from him. But I sit back down, I get into like 3 different arguments during this, and then the only person I come to the merge with as the only like real ally I know I can trust, and the only other member of my tribe gets rocked out. So to say that it was a massive slap in the face is an understatement. I think the only reason I still had my head on my shoulders is because I had a second idol in my pocket, and if I didn't have that, I have no idea how batshit crazy I would have gone.
Fair, fair, fair. All right, Andy, definitely one of the big figures of that tribal with what you did with the half idol play. So, what was your initial reaction of being in the tie at that tribal council?
Anger. First reaction was anger, and I wanted to smack the keyboard. What I bought with the stupid freaking mouse. What I talked. I think it was in episode 3, I guess. And and yeah, like I was so pissed that I really had to make the thought process clear for myself. And in that moment, I said, I need a minute to process those things, because I was in like shock that I was thinking that I'm blindsided. And even when now the talking, I was thinking like, okay, my tribe is trying to get me out. And I was thinking Corlin, Sam, and Boston gave me those votes, which only Sam was the correct one in that particular tribal council. And I don't blame him, to be honest, when I saw all the footage when it was published. But seriously, I was so angry. And we saw that I kind of, and I'm sorry, Sam, about that, that I kind of relieved my anger on Sam when we was talking together, like on the each end of the fire, if I remember. I was so pissed that I talked with this wrong person, which he caught me there, and just I realized, oh fuck, what am I doing here? So it was like I was so pissed about my tribe, about the Zohar, that it broke all the trust with Sam, Boston, and Corlin. It was the beginning of breaking the trust on my side. Definitely with Sam, because he admitted that he voted for me. But he flew under the radar so much that I forgot about that thing. And it it happened what happened.
Yep.
Oh God, what am I talking about? I need to chug the beer.
All right, Sam, what was your initial reaction to this tribal council? Because you're on the other side of that, where you were also in the tie vote.
Yeah, my initial reaction was that I felt like we were playing a game where people forgot what game we were playing, and like I was getting called out for like playing Survivor, and then suddenly like all these conversations were happening that were not, actually progressing anything, and then it freaked me out because also this was a blindside to me. I mean, Joker said it best. This was also my 9/11, and I literally was just like that first vote from me, and then watching him keep coming, I was like, oh wow, which I respect the move, and it did shake up my game, and it made me have to completely change, viewpoints. But like the reasoning kind of was like whatever, because I was trying to not stay Zohar strong, which everyone was like, all the old people are going to stick together. And then I didn't, and then everyone yelled at me for it, and I was trying to just do something interesting. But whatever. And then we go to rocks, and then the second tower is hit because V goes home, and I didn't even, like, I had spent so much time trying to build the relationship between me and Joker and V, specifically V. That whole round, I was in a voice chat with V, and then we went to people with with V. I was never not in a call with her, and so I spent so much time building that just to like set up the rest of my game for that to just come crumbling down right there. I mean, that round was pivotal for the future of my game, but it turns out in a bad way. I thought it was like kind of setting me up, but it really I don't know. I think it forced me to have to play a little too quiet, and it kind of screwed me up for the end. So thanks, Nerf.
You're welcome.
All right. Last but not least, Simon, you were also a bit involved with this tribal council because your ally threw away the half idol, which I mean you did say, in your opinion, helped you out in the end. But during day of initial reaction at that tribal council, what was your initial reaction?
It was funny.
Um,
Okay, so first off, before I talked to Andy and Andrew, I think it was either that round or the round before, and they wanted a final 3 deal, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll work with you guys. So I decided, because I knew Andy told me good things, like I trust you, I trust Andrew, and I was just like, all right, sweet. So basically, Andrew, chill guy. Some put me to bed. No, facts. Actually, I'm hell tired. But okay. So when Andy threw the idol in the fire, first off, I was like, did bro just do that? It took a second to process because I was like, it was just so abnormal to me that someone would do such a thing. But you know what? I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, or at first I was mad. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, are we dead ass? And then he proceeded to, and then I just proceeded to be like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna yell at Andy, and then I'm going to have a talk after and just be like, nah, bro, we chill. And then we did that. I knew Andrew would vote Sam, and considering how he acted that tribal, and considering how much Andrew was not gonna vote Andy. So I was pretty confident. Plus, I wanted to go with Nerf's plan to protect Andy and Andrew because I knew their names were out there. Plus the young people as well, because I did want to work with Joker and V, but I only ended up working with Joker because we all know what happened. But yeah, pretty cool. Okay, pass me the blanket. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I got one last question for Andy, and then I move on to Corlin down because I know you guys haven't talked too much at this reunion, so I'm gonna give you all like kind of like what if questions. So back to Andy, the final 7 round. I just want you to explain your reasoning as to why you flipped to Corlin or getting him out.
Oh, it was that round.
Yeah,
I was
that
thinking,
round.
like, what was the final 7?
That round, because you could have taken out the winner of the game, but you took out Corlin. So, like, what was your reasoning and thought process during the final 7 round?
My thought process at final 10, because I was thinking those 3 votes are from Corlin, Sam, and Boston. Legitimately, I was thinking that, but I was not saying it out loud because I was not sure about it. But I was like, I should should I get my ally out and be like the next person getting out, or should I stick with my ally and at least aim for for final five probably? It happened to be final three, but I was thinking like, if I will get Simon out, no one will vote for me at final tribal council because I will be in the jury right next to him. So I was thinking like I have more connections with Simon than with the Corlin. Sorry, Corlin. We had really cool chats, but I'm really sorry, Corlin. But you, it was between you and Simon, and I had to decide. And sorry, it was you because I trusted more Simon after that final 10, the tribal council. So I will tell you one thing. It was most shittiest tribal councils what I can ever imagine in my life. The final 10 and the final 7, like, I knew that Andrew is gone. So any connection with Zohar is like womp womp. So I knew like, okay, I have to like get someone out from Zohar in this case.
All right, fair. All right, now to get to Corlin and the people down. Corlin, I know you talked about this a bit, but do you think you could have done anything differently to get further in this game?
Oh, definitely. But I think the big issue is just that it most likely wasn't going to happen because I just wasn't in the right mindset for it. I mean, I remember Joker and I had a bit of a conversation about how because I kind of had it pretty easy throughout the pre-merge, I wasn't like fired. I wasn't really fired up. I hadn't been like put through my paces at all. And I think it's also somewhat reflective of like what I was of like how I played live game shows at the time, where I admittedly just take a little too long to do stuff. I just tend to be a little too slow and like intentionally methodical to really shake things up there. The only things I could really see myself, I think the big things that I change are like maybe being more direct just in those early conversations on Zohar. I don't know that I don't know that I'd switch sides during the joint tribal council, but I think that if I had to, I think that really, I think the entire early merge, you could probably just switch that to either, if I either say nothing about like wanting to switch sides, or mm, like try to make a deal with the middle tribe to eliminate someone. I probably would have gone for Andrew in that scenario. Like he was my white whale, the Moby Dick to my Ahab, I guess. But yeah, I final 11. I could have seen myself. I probably should have just committed to turning against my tribe, even if it probably meant burning a lot of bridges, or just kept my mouth shut. Final 10, definitely be a lot more aggressive. And okay, who keeps firing off a gun?
Not me.
Wasn't me.
I think it's a
Okay, well, anyway, final 10, actually use the fact that I'm immune to, like, shoot my shot. And then final 9, I mentioned this in the comments. Take the fact that I have a final 3 deal with Sam and Boston to try and flop our votes onto Joker, since we know Andrew's just voting him no matter what anyone else does, in the hopes that that whether he has an idol or not, either he uses it and Tora goes, or he doesn't use it, he leaves, and then I can then say to Tora, "See, I saved you. So now are you willing to actually like take me up on that offer we made a while back?" But unfortunately, I just had never dealt. I think the biggest problem for me is just I'd never dealt with a merge that large and with that many dynamics going on at once. So I just don't think that I was in the mindset at the time to actually
to actually do really anything of what I just said. Like the Joker thing, maybe I could have come to that conclusion if I wasn't so focused on just flipping the numbers back to my side and sliding past another round. But yeah, I try to I'm trying to use this as a learning experience, and I haven't played that many of these, especially Minecraft Survivors, since then. But I think that I have been able to apply some of the lessons I've learned here to those.
All right. Next up, Blaine.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. Were you able to? Did all my audio come through clearly?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
All right, Blaine. Honestly, I could ask this to the entirety of like the four and Sam and Andy and Simon, but I'm gonna ask it to you specifically. So
Let's hear it.
what was your reaction, or not reaction, but like what was your I guess. No, I can reword this. How did you feel about playing in your first Minecraft Survivor recorded?
It definitely was different because obviously I've said it before. I think most people already know this already. I've played in like plenty of other ones. I've played in Bedrock, this, that, etc. I've played so many different other games and all the different versions you can honestly think of: Instagram, Discord, Roblox, Bedrock, etc. I've done them all, and I was personally more excited to come into it, but I was also a little bit nervous because with those communities, obviously there's some sort of repetitivity with people playing in the game. So you already coming into a game, know who you want to work with, or maybe people that you know that you're probably going to work with or want to get out. So I knew it was a different ball game. Really, I knew it was going to be a really different ball game personally. So I had to prepare myself to really just be my genuine self and try and make the personable connections. I have experience, obviously, with that and just doing newbie seasons and other stuff. So I at least knew some of the generic stuff of like trying to make a line, like trying to form a majority lines pretty quickly at least, or just trying to be in the right numbers in regards and just trying to scope out who I think I can work with, who I could possibly use for myself. And I don't know, it was just different obviously, but I was trying to prepare myself just for anything and not necessarily having a pre-made plan for everything because I knew I need to go with the flow. So it worked out somewhat until my elimination, unfortunately.
True. I also am going to backtrack to play. Totally didn't just skip over him. Definitely.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah, totally didn't just do that.
On purpose.
Yeah.
You're a very memorable guy. Of course, you would never forget about me.
So, I got to save you for
Play,
last.
shut up.
Wow.
I'm gonna kill that guy.
Wow.
Rocks and hammers. You get the double special. You get the special.
All right.
Congrats.
My question to you is: you made merge, which congratulations. But did you think during your vote off that you were going home at all? Did you have like any idea, or did you kind of just get blindsided there?
A little bit of both. I didn't have a lot of faith in myself to actually survive because I came into this season like horrifically underprepared. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I think that was very obvious very early on. I was panicking. So I spent most of the season just completely out of gameplay mode. I was just dicking around, and so I suddenly had to lock in, try to be a player. I did not realize that whispering people was like the meta, and so I didn't do any of that. Whoops. And so I went into that tribal, and I didn't think I was going home. I didn't think it was on me specifically, but I also didn't think I also didn't have that much faith in what I barely remember. I think the plan was like, was it Corlin? I don't know. Nerf would probably remember better, but like, I don't know. I was just following his plan at that point.
Nah, you voted me.
Nerf. Fucking.
Oh yeah, I mean that tribal was so fucked, but I don't know if we're gonna go all into it right now.
Well, we can go.
Yeah.
We can dive into it after this.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't say I knew that I was going home. I definitely didn't it definitely didn't surprise me though. I was like, all right, this is the natural end to how I've been playing this season. So yes and no, basically.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't think I was going home. No, I did not get blindsided though, I would say. But depends on your definition of blindsided. I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna go to Cassie, Shady, and Seth, and then we'll dive into the final 10 round, and then we'll dive straight into the jury votes and all that, which I'm sure that will be fun. and then after that, we'll get into fan questions. So, next up, Cassius. This is my what if to you. Do you think you could have utilized the idle nullifier at all to survive past your vote off? Because honestly, if that idle nullifier was in the merge stage of this game, it could have changed the game. So, what's your thought or like reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed that I went out with that. So one thing I didn't really like tell the camera, and this is like definitely my biggest mistake in the game, was that I was aware of Joker having the idol, and I just never brought it up. I literally just forgot about it. And I feel like if me and Joker were an actual duo and we would have had that nullifier and an idol, we definitely could have changed up the game in a really wild way. Like I don't ever see the rocks happening, to be honest. But I don't know, man. It's like a really big what if question because that's like a really big advantage to have in the game. Do I see myself getting farther with it? For sure. But to be honest, I was definitely way too laid back in my game, and I kind of just think I would have been like Joker's pet. So,
all right. Next, Shiny. Also a kind of what if. I think this was. I don't exactly remember if this was talked about on the Discord or VC or whatever, but my what if to you is if you, let's just say you weren't sick and didn't miss the talk time, how do you think your game would have gone?
So my strategy for coming into this, I just wanted to come off as like just kind of an idiot. I wanted people to think that they could use me, but also be really social. And I think I have a pretty decent social game. I don't think anyone here has seen it, but I was hard wanting to work with V and Joker, which was that was my strategy because I wanted to use V as like my loyal ally and I wanted to use Joker as a shield. But like my whole plan was to just get good with the tribe, like just bond, just be someone that they thought they could trust because I'm loyal to no one. And I think Joker's plan was to always target me first. Maybe my being an idiot thing was coming off a bit too well. I honestly think it's if I wasn't sick, I think it would have been pretty close between me and Joker who would have gone there. But that's just me. That's just my opinion, not fact. Though if I did survive that vote, I do think I survived the next one. But with that twist vote, I said it in a confessional, but I was going to target Andrew because he sounded really cocky and it seemed like he had a good spot on his tribe. And I was going to go like hard in on him. And so Zohar was probably just going to vote me out there. And then Blaine would have made merge.
Hold, I feel like we can give context to this. Hold on. Cassius. Would you have voted me out over Shiny if he had talked for more?
No.
Blaine, would me, you, and V still have worked together and probably voted out Shiny anyways?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't insane.
No, I think our three personal lines, regardless, I think regardless it would have went to either of them. I think Shiny would have, no offense, would have went home honestly anyway. Due to the fact that Joker was closer with Cassius, which obviously I didn't.
Cassius also had the advantage, which helps him a lot because we want to keep that in.
I don't know what it was, but when I spoke to Joker, like before the first challenge and everything, like I just felt bond with him. So he was like, in my position, he was my number one. I would not have voted for him at all, unless he did something stupid. But
I will also say, whenever you answered your question, our duo was very real. I almost did push the rocks, but it was just an alliance of three versus just me and you and a third person is a lot harder.
That's why I agreed. Like what you did was the right move, but like when I was playing, from my perspective, like I knew you were pretty close with Blaine, but I thought for sure that you guys were not close with V. Like I did not know you guys would feel like that.
Yeah.
I really thought V and Shiny were at the bottom the entire time, and I thought I was at the top. But watching back, I realized that I was actually near the bottom for a lot of the time, which is fun to watch back on.
All right. Next, or last but not least, before we get into the final 10 round and then the fan questions, Seth, honestly, I don't think I've ever asked this to a first boot. maybe besides Justin last season because of what happened there. But how did it feel coming into the season and then getting first boot? What is a first boot mindset here? Low key roast here, but what is the what was your reaction to getting first boot, and like what did you do like afterwards?
Well, let's just say this. You come in, you're thinking, all right, 20 hours of Minecraft, sitting on my ass, playing on the computer. That's going to be me today. I'm going to be talking to people. That's going to be the whole thing. And for that to just go up and smoke in 2 hours and basically just have to like sit with that for like the rest of the day while everybody else is having fun, it hurts. Being first boot is not fun. I will just say that. I would never want to do it again. Don't recommend it. But, it happens, and it happened to me. It didn't feel great for a bit. In Ponderosa, I just kind of sat alone, just, on the PC, basically just watching everybody else do everything. I mean, like, Shiny came in for a few seconds, but was sick, so I didn't get to really even talk to anybody until Cassius got there. So me and him, we kind of chilled and watched the horse challenge together. But yeah, honestly, throughout most of it, it hurt a little bit. I mean, looking back, there were a lot of things I could have, changed, and in my game perspective, what I could have done better, what I did really bad, not talking enough, really not pushing my name out there, not doing enough with my tribe on, and there were way too many factors to even list label. But at the end of the day, Nerf was like, man, this Seth guy, he's too good. We got to get him out first. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah, exactly. See, Nerf knows balls. He knew. He just saw my name and was like, oh, it's Seth guy. He's gonna win the whole game. Yeah, exactly. He was just shaking in his boots.
Yeah,
and a lot of people I did hear, they were like, Nerf was really trying to push me to vote Simon that round. It wasn't really shown in the edit as much. He was really trying to get me to go Simon, but I personally felt like Play was my better option to vote there. Mainly just because, number one, I didn't think we were going to win many more challenges. I knew my ass was not great at challenges. I knew Nerf wasn't strong. I knew Play was probably the worst on the totem pole. That was my thought process. I basically had to bank on the fact that Play was probably going to get voted out there, and everybody else just voted me instead. But, should I saw it? I didn't really, I should have saw it coming, more or less, that I was probably going to be first boot, but, I just had the hope that, maybe I could have survived it, but, it's fine. I get all the first boot jokes, and hey, I'm in the episode that the most people watch, so, I guess everybody gets to see me say I got frickety dickety, but, it is what it is. So, at the end of the day, I had a blast. This was a great season, and I'm so glad I got to watch it back and, watch it for the first time with, basically all the people else in the chat and stuff. I knew my insights, but it was a great watch. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
We also need to have to point out one thing. We almost, as a Zohar, almost lost even with the advantage. And if we really lost, we all people knew that I will be the first. So.
Yeah. And say Zohar loses that, and I don't know if we win the whole challenge.
Steph, I do want to say this though, I don't think you should be ashamed of being the first person out, because the fact is you stepped up and tried to I don't think, as far as actually coming out onto the season and giving it a shot, I don't think you have anything to be ashamed of on that front. And the way I see it, if you can take a lesson away from this, or at least come away with a positive mindset about something about the experience, then I think that that in itself is a win, as cheesy as that sounds. I've definitely felt I had that experience before.
No, I completely agree. At the end of the day, it happens, and you just gotta live with it, and I'm fine with how it went. It stinks that I didn't get to play my heart and soul out to everybody else here in the cast, and I was the only person that didn't go to a tribal with Joker this season, so I guess I can take that.
Crazy.
That little step. But, for the first ever, PC Minecraft game show I've ever played, You know, it probably should have gone that way, all things considered. But you know, hey, I mean, hey, I'm better now. I've been playing a few unrecordeds and shit, and I've been getting better. I've been getting better. So you know.
Let's go. Let's
Hey,
go.
you know, if there's like, second chances happen.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
Damn,
just
bro.
got
I see how it
declined.
is.
All right. So final 11 took too long, in my opinion, way too long. That's where I started to get my migraine. And but you guys were just talking and talking and talking, and then like I don't remember exactly, but I think plans were switched back and forth. And I just wanted just really quick, because obviously this is taking quite a bit, but really quick, what was your guys' thought process during that extremely long round? Anyone in the final 10 who was there, or 11 can go.
I was thinking I'm fucked by a penguin to my ear.
What?
Okay.
He's drunk.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sam, what?
I feel so. It doesn't really come across as much. I think it's you know, just because there was so much talking that I know obviously you can't show everything. I was very, I think, influential in that round. This might just be my own perspective and a little bit of ego, but this was the round that was really important for me because I wanted to establish my relationship with Joker and V, and I knew that we needed Gray to make it through this vote because I knew that Gray was going to be a huge target, like, for a merge vote since we hadn't lost yet. And so what I decided was, let me cash in on this relationship I started with V, and I said, give me a green, I'll give you a gray. So I said, we just get a green out now, and I promise I will go for a gray next time. And I followed through on that. So I got V to agree to voting out one of Levant, and I was hoping that she still had some sway with Joker. And my whole plan was, let me just get one of them out. And Play had punched me off of a building, and I was not forgiving of that. And I remembered. And it was just like, it was the name that I felt we could get easiest pushed, and I had some reason for it. And also because like the one conversation we had, we didn't like really go into strategy at all, and I was like, I don't know if he wants to work with me. So that was the name I pushed, and that's the name that went. So in my eyes, I don't know if like other things happened where like with the Tora vote where I thought I was in control of that, but then it turns out Simon also had his own separate plan for Tora, and we just both independently randomly went for her. I don't know if that also happened with Play, but in my eyes, like as far as I'm aware, I pushed for Play, and that's what happened.
All right, anyone else?
I gotta say,
I don't really have much to say. I was just kind of trying to get a feel for people and also unintentionally attracting unwanted attention onto myself, but it is what it is.
I'm just going to make context here. We've been talking so much about the final 12. Let's just consider the fact that that entire tribe lied to Joker, Blade, and V for the entire fucking round. And these fuckers decided.
Which I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused how, like, I don't know how I was the only one who caught on to their bluff kind of quickly. I don't know how. I thought Joker and V would have at least caught on to it, but from what it sounds like, even during the edit, it kind of confused me because I was like, how the fuck did no one catch on to, like, the way they were talking to us? Like, I knew, I like, thought about this, and I was like, I didn't think there was really any way that one of us weren't going to go. I talked to some of the people, and I don't know if it was in the edit or not. I kind of can't remember. If I did talk to them, I said, listen, if you vote somebody out, just please don't do me at least, and I'll be fine with it. Because I knew at that point we were probably screwed. I knew they was their first tribal council. They had no bad blood with anybody. There would be no reason to go after one of each other. So I was like, yeah, I think we're fucked anyway. But I'm just going to hope for the best and just hope it's not me. And that's why I didn't vote for any of my tribe mates, because I didn't know who to vote anyway. But also, they'd get mad at me if I did. So I was like,
I want to point out that I absolutely agree. I felt a little weird when they were all DMing me at Tribal. Up until then, though, they did a great job gaslighting me. I got to give them props for that. They did too good of a job gaslighting me. And I used my belief in them. Plus, I didn't want to waste an idol on the pre-merge. Using an idol on the pre-merge is kind of embarrassing. So I didn't do that, and I held it. Now, for a little bit of context as to what happened with me and V, is that holy shit, I don't know what it was. I don't know what kind of spell Sam used against V in that call for like 11 minutes of the talk time, but V was so convinced. V was so convinced that they were going to go back because they had voted out Bland and they felt bad. And if they got rid of a green, then they were going to get rid of a gray afterwards.
I'm so glad
and
she
I
got
was
rocked
like,
out.
Dude, that's the only reason that happened is because, I mean, I got to give props where props is due. Sam absolutely did that
That's
at
why
the
we
final
voted his ass
11.
in Final 10, man. I mean, that
And I
entire
understand.
fucking round, the 5 of them vote out Blaine together, and the rest of us, we're like thumbs up our asses, decide, let's go for play instead. Let's not get rid of this 5 obviously strong people. These fucking idiots!
Listen.
Watching it, I was so shocked.
I spent
for play.
so much time working that relationship. I spent so
I
much
was
time.
honest.
They love
I
the
mean,
myth.
I think that say what you will about my gameplay, but I was at least honest about the fact that I was sticking with Zohar, both in the Blaine vote and the play vote.
No, I agree. And if you notice, looking back, I had no bad words to say about you. I think maybe I dragged you and Sam a little bit because obviously I was frustrated at the entire tribe and the situation. But my hatred and my hate boner was towards Boston and Andrew especially. Speaking of, and then it just my thing with Andrew got worse and worse and worse as the season went along. I just never got better. At least with me and Boston, it calmed down a little bit.
Oh, it was not against me because I called you out once falsely, honestly.
I had no bad beef with you by the final 7-6. We had been working together. The only reason I dragged you at tribal is because you lied to me.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to.
It's okay. You lost.
And I have a question. Why did you not tell me about the idol?
Me?
Yes, I was so confused whenever I didn't even know you had it until afterwards. I always thought you would have at least told me.
If I told you I had an idol, that means that you're going to spend half of the game thinking that it was our idol.
Oh, true. If you had told me that, I would have been
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a more self-interested player, and if I get an idol, nobody gets to know unless they catch me finding it. I didn't tell Cassius about it. I didn't tell you about it. When I had the second one, I didn't tell Simon about it, and it worked in my flavor. It worked. I did tell V. I told V afterwards because I wanted V to work with me. Because to be honest, if I don't know about how you felt, but if it was me, you, and V in the and a 3-person vote instead of an 8-person vote with Zohar, I think that I would have voted for V. I don't know. I assume that you would have as well.
V would have voted for you, pretty positive, and then I would have been in the middle position. So I would have been like, "Fuck." And I definitely don't know to this day what I would have done that position necessarily, but
honestly, if we go, I might have showed you the idol to get you to keep me. To be honest, that's the only scenario. I will show someone my idol if it is self-interested.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The public. Real quick, the public idols were a huge factor in the game, and the fact that we knew about it because we blew ours first, was huge. And I just remember that is actually a huge part of how I kind of swayed V a little bit too. Was I told her about your idol, and when she was saying to us oh my god, he didn't even tell me about it, and so that was how she was a little bit more open to working with the people who were giving her information. And I think that's what really swayed her to my side was that I was
watching it back. That's a lie, right?
What?
That she didn't know about the idol, unless you're talking about at the final 12, because I had the whole thing in the final.
Yes.
I literally told her that if we went to a tribal, I would idol her out.
Wait, when are you? Oh no, I think I told her about this at final at the Twist.
Yeah, I think Sam.
I started establishing that relationship with her day one of meeting her. I was like,
gotcha.
I need this person to be in my
I thought
pocket.
you meant that she said he didn't tell me about this at the final 11 after I had told her, and I was like, what?
No. It was before. It was before you then went and told her. So it was I told her first, and she was like, oh, and then it's just that was the majority of my game was trying to. So that's why I'm also very interested in getting.
That's fair. She didn't vote for you.
Yeah.
That's a good transition. That's a great transition. That is a fantastic transition, baby. All right. So going into the jury votes, before we get into V's potential reasoning, because we have no idea if they answered or not. First off, just get it out in the open. Does anyone who's here besides Tora and Andrew, and actually just Tora and Andrew, does anyone on the jury regret voting for who they voted for at all? If you do, just punch in the air. Okay, no.
I should have voted Simon because it would have been really funny.
You did vote Simon, I think.
Voted for Sam, I mean.
Oh, Sam. Okay.
Why would that have been funny?
Because I feel like I was one of the more locked votes for Simon, and it would have just.
I thought I got you with the
my
pregnancy
vote
quote. I thought I could joke my way through getting you to laugh at me enough to vote for me.
Okay, so
it was a good attempt.
Other than being funny, I guess no one regrets it, so that's good. So now, Blaine, just first off, this could be a whole thing, like that doesn't even matter. But did V respond to you?
They did.
They did. Okay. Moment of truth, because just a little context for everybody. V didn't show up at Tribal. I sent them the Final Tribal Council video, and then they just voted Simon, and then left the community and server, and then never expanded upon it. So, Blaine, what was their reasoning for their vote?
I'm going to say this word for word.
Okay.
Quote me exactly. I'm going to be so real. It was so long ago that I genuinely do not remember.
And Sam.
No regrets.
No regrets.
I didn't want to egg them on and start saying stuff. I just said laugh my ass off. Real. That's how I ended.
I think I have a little bit of an idea.
And Sam gets his closure.
Sam gets his closure somewhat. All right, Simon, what do you think?
Okay, so I have a few ideas. First of all, V is a writer. Me, theme of the season. Second of all, V, it wasn't shown in the edit, but during my speech, I was sweet talking the hell out of V. And the third thing, V didn't work with me. They worked with Sam instead, and because they kind of stuck it through, I'm pretty sure there was something about like this. We're talking about the same person who like left the server immediately after, so they were probably really angry about their elimination. And also the fact that it would have been an easy Ondi vote if Corlin voted for Ondi instead. It was just kind of just like a messy thing. I don't think it's anybody's fault. What else? There's another good reason. Yeah, but I was just like kind of like sweet talking V during the final tribal. It wasn't shown, but
in, man.
as well as true, I did a very good job. As well as the fact that I think because of the fact that I did say during like the respect question, I respected Joker a lot, as well as the fact that like I said something like, you know, Joker and I were great allies. I would have loved it if you were there too, stuff like that. Yeah. And last thing, I was the only one there who wasn't a Grey Tribe member, so that was probably the biggest takeaway. That's my take, but tell yourselves whatever you want. That's just my speculation.
All right, Sam, totally got closure definitely from that response.
Yeah.
What are you thinking right now?
I don't feel like speculating on what they really did. I can't speak to what they've actually felt. They don't remember it, so obviously they cared a lot about what they were voting for. So I don't really care to speculate on it, because honestly, who knows? Who knows? It's whatever.
All right.
Nah, you're pissed.
Sorry for not having an actual answer for that. I just like honestly,
pissed,
it's
bro.
like, is it?
You're pissed.
I just don't know that. No, I'm just saying I don't think it's worth it to like try to come up with reasons, because they didn't vote for me. Like whatever. So that I don't care enough.
Been so long.
I guess
It's been so long that they don't remember. All right, that's gonna be some words. All right. Now we're gonna get into the fan questions, and we have a lot, so please respond quickly, because obviously we still got hero, villain, and fan favorite. So please just like give like a sentence or two. If it requires more, then so be it. But please just respond with short answers. Sorry to the audience. It's just been a hot minute with this reunion. So
it's been 2 hours already.
That's great. Well, we didn't start 2 hours. We kind of.
Hey, it you know it goes along with this season. This season took forever, so reunion takes forever. All right. Let's.
This is where I get
see.
my screen time. I need it.
Okay. Cuts everything that you just
do
said
this
from the
for
season.
me.
Let's see. Going down the list, we got a lot of joke ones. I'm just gonna skip past those. Okay.
Whoa.
Well, okay, hold on. They got. Ondi, why are you
Listen,
so
if the audience
cool?
wants to know.
Ondi, why are you
I
so
did joke
cool?
ones, not Joker ones.
Why am I so cool? Because I pee in a sink. I don't know.
That I don't know if
Better
that
the
makes
piss
you
in
cool.
the sink than the sink
All right.
in the piss.
and that is why I skipped the joke ones. All right, for a real one. Did anyone on the cast know or suspect the alliance between Sam and Boston before it was revealed?
No.
No.
Andrew did tell me that
Oh, shit.
Boston, Corlin, and Sam were close, but not specifically Sam and Boston. No.
Okay.
I clocked it after Sam cried at the Final Four. that was my tell that he might have been a little bit closer to Boston than I had originally known.
But hey, at least he also showed emotions in this game.
This is true. Listen, all the Final Four did at one point.
Let's see. Next, I already asked that question. Perfect. To the host, which tribe was your favorite? Rank them.
Not mine.
All right, Zohar. I mean, come on. Levant, Sarai. Sorry, Sarai. Next.
Tribe.
Andi,
we
since
got fucked.
episode 1, you've had doubt, or people have doubted you all the way, starting with Andrew in his first confessional. Would you say that you got the last laugh on Andrew and others who doubted you?
Wow. I did not expect that question. Actually, with me and Andrew, I'm sorry, I'm just one big fangirl of Andrew and his content, to be honest. And one of the reasons why I worked with him was because of his YouTube, because I know him because of his YouTube. But I was just trying to be myself, and if they don't accept me, fuck them.
All right, fair enough. Next question to Simon and Andi. What would have been the plan if Andi didn't throw the half idol into the fire?
Getting me out.
Like I don't know. It was probably, if the case of us still having that, would I have done anything differently? Most certainly, but I'm very spontaneous. It's not like a plan. Let's see.
I would be begging you to make the idol for me.
Yeah,
I would be
I'd
begging
probably play it on like Andi, maybe me. I don't know.
You
Yeah,
had the idol, what I did not know.
Yeah, I know. Well, everyone knew about my second idol, but
I did
it
not.
was kind of a... You
It
didn't?
was just no, I did not.
Wow.
Unless I did not know about it, like till
see.
you
Only
overly
about it.
go with it, because I did not even know about Boston's idol because I was barking.
True. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a good answer to that, but it probably would have been used on Andi or myself down the line. Andi and I, if we did have the half idol, we definitely would have been more target. So yeah, probably one of us two during like some vote where we're like,
When we're
oh, those
targets,
two
you guys
are
got
doing.
voted for so many times.
I mean, I guess Final 9 probably goes a lot differently if they have the half.
Yeah, Final 9 would go a lot differently because I don't know if I'd do that to Tora if I still had the half, because like it's kind of obvious that like, because when Andi threw it in the fire and the whole Final 10 shebang happened, it was like, oh yeah, me, Nerf, and Tora were like a thing, and everyone was looking at that compared to me and Andi. People just kind of forgot about that. Or thought that wasn't a thing anymore. So overall, I don't know if I would have done that. Who knows? Alternate universe Simon could answer that, but I can't.
True.
I'm gonna sleep now. Honk shoe.
All right, next. I don't know why this was asked to Boston, but I'll ask it anyway. Was Andrew on thin ice before he was pulled from the game?
Was Andrew on thin ice?
I don't know why that was asked to you, but all right, you could answer.
I guess I'll answer. Yeah, he was definitely in some hot water instead of thin ice. A lot of people were wanting to get him out. As for me and Sam, I mean, I might speak for Sam here. I think that me, Sam, Corlin, definitely we're gonna try to do something to not make that happen and try to snipe out a Joker. But yeah, no. If had he not walked, I think there's a good chance he still would have went where he went though.
All right.
You can speak for me any day.
Whoa.
Yep, that's true.
All right, not on camera, guys. Come on now. All right. All right. Another joke one. JD, I do not get your question, but big W to you. Already asked that to Joker.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. That question would take too long. I'm sorry. Um. Okay, sure. I can maybe ask. All right. Another Simon question. Get prepared. At the
Yay.
final four vote, did Simon? I'm just gonna read this word for word. So if it isn't for you, then whatever. We'll just see. At the final four vote, did Simon not account for that Joker might try to sway one of the other two to force a fire that may end up with fire making? It seems like for me at that moment, Simon almost screwed his own game like that if Joker had it thrown in the end of the game.
Okay. I didn't expect it from anybody at all because I was like, in my mind, I was just like, yeah, the biggest threat right there. Probably would have won like 6 or 7 votes. I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, no one's gonna vote for Joker, so I didn't even really account for it. I know one thing I kind of got scared of was I messaged Sam at the beginning of the tribal, and I was just like, yo, like, we did it, bro. We did it. We're in the final tribal. And then Sam just ghosted me. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. There's simply just no way.
I was crashing out in my notes, just figuring out the math of it all.
You wouldn't.
Man can only dream for 7 votes.
Does he know? Does he know?
1 plus 1 is 2, right?
Yeah, because like looking at it, I do think that like I was just even the second where like Sam ghosted me, I was just like I still couldn't believe it. I was just flabbergasted, like no way, no way he does this, right?
Yeah, bro.
And then he
So, that was my
did.
question. But you did
Mic
do it.
drop. Next to Audi, how hard of it on a scale of 1 to 10 was it to play on a season where everyone's native language was English?
Since I have experience to talk in English, but my vocabulary is getting smaller and smaller because I do not live outside of the Czech Republic, it was like a 5 or 6 because I'm exposed to English, like at least to listening because I'm watching American YouTube than Czech Republic YouTube because Czech Republic YouTube is full of bullshit and drama, and thank you, I don't want that. Stick that to your bumhole. What did I just said again? Oh god. I'm just starting to be a random word generator. So I will, if someone from Czech Republic is watching this reunion, and someone was watching the whole season from Czech Republic or Slovakia, if you learn a lot in English, you need to practice. And the best practice is speak with the native speakers. It doesn't matter if they're Americans. It doesn't matter if they're from United Kingdom. It doesn't fucking matter. At least you're practicing. And I will tell you one thing. What can be the better practice than play reality shows or game shows or quiz shows? It worked for me, and look at me, I was here.
Corlin, what's the origin of your skin? It feels familiar for some reason.
So I've actually learned recently that I say recently, but I found out that this skin is Entity 303, which is a Minecraft creepypasta, but I actually had no idea that was the case until very recently. As hard as this may be to believe, this has been my skin for, gosh, like 10 years probably longer than that. And my younger brother just set it to this one day. I liked it, and I have never really taken serious consideration to changing it since.
Hey, fair enough.
It's just kind of what I am now.
Hey, I agree.
I'll
I
put a
got the
ring on
epic
it.
face since I was like 10 or 11, and I've never changed it since. Next, Sam, how did it feel to be the narrator of the season?
The narrator of the season?
Yes, you are.
I'm sure you have
Besides
mixed feelings
Joker.
about that because you said on the Discord and maybe in VC that you thought your confessionals weren't the best because obviously it was your first time and you didn't know what to expect. So, how do you feel about being the narrator of the season, Sam?
I have to interject. Not only that he was doing that, he was also doing the video podcast on his Twitch.
True. Shout out.
All
True.
time.
Shout out
All-time TV.
All-time TV. I watched
Thanks for the
it.
shout out.
up.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool. I was a little surprised to see how much I was like involved with like telling the story. I did feel that my confessionals. This is my first recorded, and I was not used to giving confessionals. I was not writing anything down. So to be able to go back through and kind of like revisit it and be like, oh, I kind of knew what was going on. At least that was a little relieving to see. And you know, obviously, I'm a performer at heart. I went to school for acting. I've worked acting jobs. Like I stream like on call time TV on Twitch, and so it's like it's ingrained in me. So I'm always trying to kind of narrate and provide that commentary. It's made me think maybe I want to go into maybe hosting myself. We'll see if I ever get into that. But yeah, it was cool. It was nice.
Please
nice to see.
do.
Nice
Hey, all right.
The community needs more hosts.
Blaine, if given a second chance, would you handle that joint tribal differently, or did that just screw you over completely?
I think about this a lot of times. I don't know necessarily what I could have done in that situation. I already told them what I need to hear. I think it was I didn't know at the end of the day if I was gonna get voted 100%. I couldn't say to them, "Oh, I'll vote with you, vote this person," because it didn't make any sense. I don't think I could have made it past that thing or the tribal. Possibly if it was no tribe, I think we could have possibly done something different. But I don't think there's really any way I could have gotten past that necessarily, unless an idol was played or something.
All right. Next to Boston. Oh, what is this question? All right, Boston. What goes behind a master such as yourself calculating moves? Does the thought process change handling different stages of the game?
Holy glaze.
The glaze.
The glaze. Oh my gosh.
We saw this guy play as idol at 6, right? We're all here? Okay.
Was that
Yeah, we're all
Sam's
here.
question?
Hey, you played your idol at 10, bro.
Dude, I'm
I
not
pointed
gonna
at
lie.
Fox. You got no votes. You
All
got
right.
no votes. I got votes.
Let the man answer.
I
Let
was
the
under
man
the
answer.
impression that Boston played it after Joker. So when I heard that he did it, when I saw in the episode he did it before, I was like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
No, actually.
No, fair. All right, Boston. You know, the person glazed you, so you might as well answer this question.
You know, it comes, you know, it's just, it comes naturally. You know, being the master and calculating all these moves, you know, it's very fun to play these games. You know, it's made for me. Like I said, it just comes super easy, and when you find a great ally, it makes it just that much more better and satisfying. So yeah, no, I mean, it's just second nature to me. Come on now.
That's for you, Glazer. Cassius, you're cool. Thought you should know that. No question there.
Okay, thank you.
Shout out Cassius.
Shout out Cassius. Next to Simon. How do you feel that you stack up against the other winners? I don't know if you watched season 1 and 2, but I know for a fact you watched season 3. So honestly, I'm just gonna ask this: how do you feel like that you stack up against Jeffels?
Okay, I didn't watch season 3. I was told
Cooked.
about season 3. I am Jeffels, actually.
That's true.
But
This is
I've
factual.
only heard from Jeff himself his game. I think. I mean, I can't say whether I'm better or worse because I don't have all the details. But from what he told me, he sounded pretty good. So I'm not one to speak on that.
All right.
More interesting winner, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely more interesting.
Damn.
Oh yeah,
him
not
boring.
boring. Oh, my bad. Stop. So
Shout out Jeff.
to Andy, playing this game at the age that you are at is honestly quite fascinating to me. What brought you to throw down the gauntlet, assuming your free time is likely limited?
Good question.
Basically, I could
Because
sum it
I
up
had-
like, what made you apply? Basically, is what they're trying to ask.
I don't know, because I was still like in that moment when I saw the application video, I was in nostalgia of the production, what we do 10 years ago. Actually, happy we need to do correction. The season what you put, I was only a sponsor of that season, not the cameraman.
Yep, that's true.
And I was filming the season 2, China, and also most parts of season 1. I think it was Yucatan. But I was in a nostalgia moment, and I was like, you know what? I would try it, and let's see how it happens. And look at me, I was in the final three. What the shit?
Okay.
Proud of you, bro.
Last couple of questions, and then we're gonna get to hero of the season, villain of the season, and the fan favorite vote. So to Joker, I got like a dozen of these questions, so I'm just gonna all sum it up into this one, which is from Chillin' Cool himself. Uh,
Yeah.
What was your reaction upon realizing you were voted out at Final Four?
My reaction? I mean, I was kind of sad. Very frustrated. More so in the moment than I am now, by the way. But in the moment, I was very frustrated with Andy. I didn't understand the reason to lie to the person who's been lied to over and over again the entire season, as you could probably tell from my FTC monologue. I don't know. I felt like I had played very hard. I had tried really hard, and in the end, I had come up just short. I then realized that at least FTC would be more interesting, right?
And speaking of FTC, that transitions to another one of his questions.
You're welcome.
To the jury, if Andy is out in the Final Four,
I was gonna ask this. Oh my god.
if Andy is out in the Final Four, who would you vote for in the scenario of a Joker, Simon, Sam Final Three? So this is, I mean, I know Boston's, so this is to.
You know, Andrew's voting for fucking Sam.
Let's do the standard.
No, Andrew's
Andrew
not voting
did
for me.
say, well.
Okay, let's just say the name that you think you would vote for, and then just a brief reasoning, because obviously, pretty long reunion. So let's just we can start with Boston. All right, Boston. Who would you vote for in that Final Three?
Sam, because he's easily the best player in the final three.
Holy
All right.
glaze. Okay.
Next,
Oh my
Nerf.
gosh.
Who would you vote for in that Final Three?
Sam, because the other two fucked me.
Yeah, get rolled.
All right, Corlin. Who would you vote for in that Final Three?
Sam out of loyalty, though I feel like though not certainly, I'm probably like 60-40 in favor of him.
And then last but not
Division.
least, Play. Who would you vote for in that Final Three?
That's a good question. Gameplay wise, I think I would have preferred Joker. It really just comes down to how I'm feeling, honestly, because I didn't see like any of the game, and so personal bonds very important to me as a juror, and obviously slight difference between my personal bond with Joker and Simon. So I think it's 50-50.
Very slight.
I lean Joker just because
can
his
also
type
ask
of
Andy.
gameplay appeals. To
Yeah,
me.
you could ask Andy too.
And then,
Oh, yeah, true,
I
Andy.
was going to say that if I will be out, I will be in a jury. I would be voting for Joker, actually, not for Simon, because your game was like amazing. Like
Exactly.
a lone wolf, and everyone is trying to get you out. And if I will get out and I will be in a jury, I would probably vote for Joker.
Okay,
is
so
good.
what would that be? That would be.
I get views. I get
So
views
far,
as
that's
You get
four
well.
V.
for me. Yeah, that's
So it's
3 for. it
Four
depends on
for
Tora.
you.
Wait,
Toro,
what
I
for you?
really can't do math, bruh.
Tora
Is it
is
three
either
for
you?
Joker,
For him.
Three for
Simon.
you.
Andrew would probably vote. Sam?
Oh, we said Andrew was probably gonna vote for me because he.
No,
Yeah.
Andrew
No,
said in the
Andrew
F10
will,
round because you deviated, he wouldn't.
Oh no, yeah, that's true.
He
That's
would
true.
not.
Nah, I think he probably votes.
No, but that's why he voted for
No,
Andy.
he'd vote-
But
Yeah, he'd vote
that's why.
Simon.
But Andy's not there. I don't know though because he was so like, and he asked his question to only me, so I thought there was a chance. that he
Happy,
was
have you
considering
talked to
me
him
as
about
well.
that?
Because he was
We
mad.
talked. Me and Andrew talked. He said Sam.
Okay,
He said he
so
would vote for
Sam.
What?
Sam instead.
He
We talked after
said
the season, like 3 weeks ago. It was in the call with controller and I. Yeah, he said that he would vote for Sam.
Oh, well,
If it
he told
wasn't
me
for
something
Andy.
different.
Well, that's been months.
All right,
Okay. Well, no, that was like weeks ago though. But okay.
all right. Last two questions. Happy, what was your favorite challenge? The final 11. Last.
Really?
Yes. The horse challenge was so good. Anyway, what was the
Final
last
11 was the snow.
one? Yeah, the snow
That
one.
was the snow one.
It was just such a simple concept, and that's why I like it. And then last but not
Fair.
least,
That's fair.
Sam's dad, shout out, asked this question. So he wants to know how the speech would have changed if Boston was at the FTC with Sam, and what Boston would have said about Sam if he was at FTC as well.
I I definitely would not have taken any shots or tried to downplay his game. I think I definitely would have highlighted that we had a very dominant run and that we were secretly working together and all that, et cetera, that we all know now. I definitely would have highlighted that, talked about our journey through the game, but then mostly talk about how I had some good wins, I had some good pull, my relationships were good. Even though I burned people, I still managed to get to the end, without getting a vote since final 11 or whatever it was. I mean, I would have came prepared, but I mean, I definitely would have highlighted our relationship and would have just tried to sell my game with everything I could.
All right. And with that,
Happy, can I ask one question?
Yeah, what's up?
We don't have to go juror by juror, but I am curious if my plan goes through and Andy votes with me and Sam is on the jury. Can I just know who would have voted for me against Simon and Andy instead of
me?
If you just want to, Stan.
I guess everyone.
Everyone.
I can't.
Same answer.
It's basically like it basically comes down to vibes between you and Simon personally.
Joker, pack it up, bro. You didn't win, bro. Pack it up.
All I need to know is that this totally validates both mine and Sam's plan. Fuck you, audience.
Yeah, the vision's real.
The vision is real for both of us.
All right. So that wraps up reunion. Besides, obviously, the last question that I asked to the entire cast, and obviously the voting. So we're gonna do the voting first, and then the last question. So we're gonna start with hero of the season based on what the audience voted. So if you are called, please stand behind me in those 5 seats. So we're gonna name the top 5 in no particular order. So first up, no particular order, we have Simon, Sam, Joker, Andy.
Yeah, bro, I was a narrator.
Me? In top 5? What?
Boston, sit your ass down. Nerf, come here.
Nerf?
I don't know why Nerf's here either.
We're smoking a pack, I think.
This is for hero of the season. So when I call your name,
Can I stand up right now?
when I call your name, you're just gonna sit back down to your original seat. So in 5th, we had Nerf. Makes sense.
Okay.
What?
Makes sense. And 4th, we had Sam.
I don't know.
What?
This is big. Simon enjoyers are going crazy on the hero side right now.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Well, and speaking of that, Simon gets 3rd.
Oh.
Excuse me?
So that is between the two of you, and I have news actually. The vote tied. The vote tied. So you both receive hero of the season. Congratulations.
So 3rd place decides.
Okay, let's see.
All right, sit back down.
Oh man, I got no say.
So congratulations to Joker and Andy. You both got like 37% of the votes or something like that. I don't remember. All right.
Excuse me. What the fuck, guys?
All right, next villain of the season. No particular order once again. Andrew, he's not here, so someone just like break his head and like place it down for me, please.
Here, I'll be the Andrew stand-in. He would like
Okay,
that.
yeah, totally. Give the head to Joker.
Can I have the head, please?
Nerf.
Good for one.
Hero and villain.
And then Joker. So Joker, you're gonna have to place the head next to you.
Okay, here you go, Andrew.
Boston. And Simon. So that is our top 5.
Crazy.
I belong here.
All right.
Oh God.
So in 5th place, Joker, sit back down.
Yeah,
Hero and villain, bro.
And 4th, Nerf. All right, in 3rd, Simon. So it's between Andrew and Boston, and let me just say the villain won by a landslide here. One of you guys, and I mean one of you, just Boston because he's here. One of you had 18.8% of the votes, while the other had 33.3% of the votes. So that's a huge jump. And the winner of villain of the season in the audience eyes is Boston. So Boston, congratulations.
Holy
That makes sense to me.
GG's
So
Boston.
audience, there you go. Last but not least, fan favorite. There was a
All right,
lot
I'll just go
of
take my seat real
submissions.
quick.
Yeah, nope. Sit back down. I could just say, sorry, Seth, you ain't coming by. You ain't coming up here.
No, no.
Oh shoot! All right, in no particular order, we had
Seth, you were my favorite.
Joker.
I'm back.
Of course.
He's back.
Boom. Give me back in the middle.
Simon.
We're back. Simon, 3 for 3.
Andy.
Yo, what's up, man?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, come on, dude.
Nerf.
You don't gotta act
I
surprised.
wonder who won, guys.
What?
I wonder.
And then
What?
Corlin is up here as well. So that is the top.
Orlinium
Five.
Bobinium's here. Let's go.
All right. So, in 5th place is Corlin.
Oh,
I'll take it.
I just made him get
Damn.
up to sit back down. That's crazy for me.
Crazy.
In 4th
Wow.
is Nerf.
Oh,
Bro
you
just
stood
knew it.
up.
Bro just knew it. Bro just
Already
knew
was
it.
standing.
So cold. That was so
And 3rd is Joker. So we got
what?
Goodbye.
the top 2.
Andy,
These two were a duo.
Hardware store about to pull it out.
I'm not.
I will
No,
say
bro, you made this season, dog.
to for the fan favorite, to no one's surprise other than I guess Andy. Andy, you have won fan favorite of the season.
Oh no!
And
oh no.
bro,
That means that if Happy will do the returning season, fans favorite, I will be going there.
bro might get the call back. And just to also say, Andy, out of all the seasons, got the most amount of points from any fan favorite.
I'm sorry, what?
So
How
yeah,
many-
Why am I
how
not
many points
surprised?
I
you
got?
got 68. You were one off from the funny number, but you got
The people have
68.
spoken.
The people have spoken. You got 68 points. Simon got 52, and then I can read the rest to you guys later off camera. So, last but not least, before we wrap up,
Get
he's
zero.
still in awe. No one got 0. Everyone got a vote. So to wrap it up,
Yeah.
what I do with every reunion is I go one by one, and I like to do this every season. Is where I'll ask what was your guys' favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit, and then you'll say your answers. So we're gonna start with Simon and then move down. So Simon, if you can remember, what was your favorite moment during the season that either made the edit or didn't make the edit?
I don't know.
All right, next, Sam. Yeah. Okay, so winning was not his favorite thing. I'm gonna move on to Sam. Sam, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
V's
have to say-
explanation for so my favorite moment that's not in the edit is the entire game that I played with Boston. That was like completely in just like the secret. Like that's not shown. It's like just getting to know him. It was just great. It was a good time hanging out with him the whole time with no one knowing. That was fun.
Fair, yep, true. All right, Andy, what was your favorite moment that either made the season or did not make the season?
What did not make the season was the webcams of Zohar, to be honest. But what made the season? Oh God, probably the anal beats, I guess.
Oh my God. For anyone who didn't watch the episodes, that is a mention. All right, Joker, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or didn't make the edit?
I got like two that I can think of. I liked in the final 6 round, I think it was. There was a conversation that happened. I don't know if it was shown or not between me, Simon, and Boston, where we're all talking to each other, and we are holding all 3 idols that have been in the game since the beginning, and none of them had been played. I thought that was fun. I also really enjoyed, as much as it took years off my life, I really enjoyed arguing with Andrew at Tribal, because I like when there's like interesting and entertaining things happening at Tribal, and it's not just questions and answers.
All right. Next, Boston, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or didn't make the edit?
hate to beat a dead horse, but me and this guy right here, that's my favorite part. Through thick and thin, from start to finish, that's my boy. No, I mean, we killed it. I'm so glad I met this guy. And obviously the beginning when we first found the idol, I mean, that was truly one of my favorite moments ever.
Nerf, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or didn't make the edit?
All the friends I made along the way.
All right, One Piece. All right, I gotta go to Corlin. Corlin, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or didn't make the edit?
To be honest, there's only one answer for this one coming from me, so just prepare your ears.
Yes, just 3.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Yes, that was cinema.
All right, skipping the other 3. Play, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
It was the fucking house tour. That shit was so funny.
Oh my god.
I had so much fun with that.
Fair enough.
Crew.
The amount of people where I like that thought they clicked on a different video or something like that, like a different video was playing because I put that like MTV thing at the beginning was so funny to me.
That's so fire. Me and my 7 dead wives.
All right, Blade, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
Controversial take. I love the first challenge with the 1, 2, 3. I know you hated it, but that was my favorite part of the challenge. I loved because I was mainly the one doing the 1, 2, 3s. Personally, I found it so fun to do that shit. But I know everyone hates it, but love that. And I wasn't there that long, so I don't really have that much to go off of. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm sure Seth totally agrees with that one.
No, it was a bad challenge. I actually really disliked it.
All right, Cassius, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
If I remember correctly, in my boot episode, there's a confessional where I talk about Joker's idol, and I'm like, I have to confront this dude, and about 2 minutes later, it cuts to me talking about how much I trust him and how I think I'm going to make it super far in the game with him. So watching back, that was really funny because like I go from like trying to suss him out to just like being so oblivious. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was pretty funny.
All right. Shiny, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
Sadly, it did not make the edit. In marooning, while I was searching for chests, I found this dude just standing in the middle of the street, so I beat him up and stole his clothing, and I wore it the rest of the season. You can even hear me, like, mention it in marooning. I think we're, like, watching, like, Sam or something. It sadly did not make the edit. It would have been peak.
And then last but not least, Seth, what was your favorite moment that either made the edit or did not make the edit?
For me at least, honestly, probably favorite quick thing. I did sit in the final 3 chairs with Andy and Simon, and Sam got very mad at me at FTC when I was there. It was kind of funny. I did like that. But the other thing was during Andy's FTC speech, I was very upset that his answer to, I can't remember whose question it was. I think it might have been Boston. It was either Boston or it was Nerfs.
Corlin. I know what you're talking about.
No, Corlin's made it. It was, he just said no to Corlin.
Yeah.
But there was another one where he said, it was like, he basically just said, no, they called him a goat, and he was like, well, I am not goat, I am sheep. Bah. It was the funniest. I fell out of my chair. That was the funniest. The fact that didn't make it in happy was a crime. And I'm kind of mad about it.
I low-key forgot about it, unfortunately, and didn't include it. But
That's so sad. The fans won't know.
They will never know. All right. And with that concludes the long reunion of Age of Valor. But that kind of fits because this season was also long. So, final words for me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for this cast for playing. Fun fact, I think maybe like 3 or 4 of these people were backups for Season 3, and then a lot of them were their first time playing in a Minecraft Survivor or even in a recorded. So I appreciate everyone for playing and coming out here. I appreciate you guys for watching, of course. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in Season 5.
And subscribe
well, everyone,
to Happy.
yeah. Yeah, everyone kill each other. Yeah, everyone kill each other. Season 4 is done. Season 4 is done. Wow, the OGs really hate this cast. That's crazy. Me personally wouldn't take that disrespect. All right, and that's that's a wrap.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, no way. Hold on. Hold on. It's a 2-to-1-to-1, bro. Oh my
god.
Oh
There's actually no way.
my god. You're kidding. You're
Bro,
kidding.
2 people fumbled. There's no way.
Joker fumbled the bag, dude. He fumbled. It was like so free
dude,
for
he's
him.
gonna be pissed. He's gonna be livid, dude.
Oh my god. I've never seen such a throw in my life. I've never seen such a
Holy
throw in my
fuck.
life.
Alright, I need to calm myself down before I go back.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
given to him on a
okay,
silver
okay.
platter and everything, bro. Oh my god.